In this week's episode, we go off the grid in search of Iceland's most iconic creature, the Puffin, which leads us to anchor in some questionable spots deep in the heart of Fjords. Later that week, on the run from weather, we navigate a challenging fjord, flying blind in thick fog.
It seems our little Icelandic hideaways that the locals only know about, maybe not so much. We saw him drive past before, we're like, oh, that's interesting, he must be on his way somewhere. And then he came in here, and he came right up, he didn't try, but I think he wanted to get in there, and then gave up and backed out. I feel very in the way all of a sudden. Sorry ladies and gents, wasn't sure your tour was coming through here. I promise we tried to get out of the road.
We were just like, oh, this is awkward. There were about 50 people on the back of the boat, all taking photographs of the bay with our little boat in it. And we're off. So along with that ferry this morning, we just got a bunch of jet skis and power boats coming by, and tide is on its way down, so we're just kind of getting a little bit close to the rock wall to all those things combined. We decided that we're just going to head off now, follow the same line as what we did coming in to go out, so we should have enough room going out and it should be a lot less scary. But the fact that everyone's coming in and around here, I actually don't think it's as a hidden spot as what we thought. So I think what we're going to do though is go to another anchorage in the area, Elliday, I think it is. It's a crater with water in the middle. It is a very foggy day today. Well, it's just foggy. Also, once again, wind isn't great. So we're bopping between islands. Luckily, the wind isn't great when we're only doing really short legs, which is good. If it were long legs, we would have to motor this whole time. It'd suck.
Coming into the anchorage now. There aren't any contour lines though, it's just kind of cross-hatched blue, which is never an exciting thing to see on the chart, but it's fine, we'll be okay. We're just going to creep in slowly, put a hook in. It's about a 500 meter sort of bay, but it's sort of almost like a crater. There's like a skinny mouth at the entrance, and then you've got a big wraparound all the way, so it should be a pretty nice place to spend some time. The shoreline over here is sort of rock with seaweed over the top, and it gives you a really good indication of what the holding will be like. And that seaweed, it's not holding, it's just it's like pushing grass. So yeah, you can see at low tide here now that is indicative of the bottom here, and it's okay, put it that way. You wouldn't want to be caught with very little scope in a very big blow here, I would say. If you see any beaches on the shore, you want to try and get adjacent to them because they might have washed sand further in.
Apparently this is a puffin colony here. It's so cute. It's so cute.
Really not graceful birds. They're very cute, but they're not at all graceful.
No, but they make me laugh. They make me laugh and swell so much. Oh my god, there's more. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'll come back. Okay, we actually need to get ready to anchor. I cannot be puffin watching all day. Okay, where the hell are we going? It's so silly. Well, sunshine and blue skies today. It's so calm, still really flat. We're in a period of calm. And we figured that we're just going to go to shore and try and spot some puffins. We're also having some problems with our drone, so we figured that this place, out of everywhere else that we've been to, well, some of the towns at least, will be pretty good for redoing the compass because there won't be any magnetic interference. There's literally nothing on these whole islands, so we're going to go there and just recalibrate our drone as well. Anyway, morning walk.
Looks a bit like a farmer today. A sheep farmer.
It's actually a lovely day outside. It always happens like that. You'll have a couple of foggy days, so you shut up shop and you put the heaters on and you start to like rug up, and then it sneaks up on you and it's beautiful and sunny outside, but you've sort of become so convinced that it's horrible outside, you forget, you sort of don't go out there anymore, and then you're like, oh, it's a beautiful summer's day. Trying to sneak up on some puffins.
You think that they won't notice us?
Yeah, but they might not worry about us because we're just rolling. They'll just be like, oh, you're just a big bird.
He doesn't know what to do. It's just swimming in circles. I was just about to say that I think we've infiltrated the ranks, but every single puffin just pretty much flew away then. Stupid seagull is like their alarm bell.
It's just screaming and yelling, raising the alarm. Run for your lives! And all the puffins are like, what?
No more puffins. We've actually gone past a few cafes and restaurants, and they actually do serve puffin here. So no surprise that they don't really want to play with us. I wouldn't want to play with a human either if I knew that I might be on a menu. Do you think we got the David Attenborough look down pat?
I was thinking they wouldn't let us within 20 yards of them, but like, they're shy, but they're not like terrified.
Which way out?
Up, I think. So we just started scrambling up this hillside, making for the open meadows. I was like, oh, looks a bit trodden in. And obviously because they've all been nesting here. Just as I went to climb up, I was like, oh, there's a hole in it. That's a little baby nest. Oh no. So we need to reconsider. We'll maybe stay on the rocks.
Yeah.
And any trodden down grass is probably a nesting area, so I don't want to go traipsing through it. Whole nest.
I can't help but feel like this was actually a bad idea.
Well, it's only because I've got coffee in my hand and Wellington boots on.
Maybe in hindsight, morning coffee wasn't such a good idea. All right, well, we found ourselves up the top. Actually, we found ourselves a sheep trail. There's lots of wool on the path, and you can see that like all the sheep have been using it on the island, and managed to avoid every nest, which is good.
It's nice to know that no matter where in the world you go, the seagull is the most annoying bird.
That is so true. So true.
One bird that's just
gotta wreck it for everyone.
Ever since we showed our faces out on the boat this morning, he's just been like, everybody watch out! Oh.
Is there actually a sheep left? There is so much wool here. This is insane.
So relaxed, this little guy. He's not even. He's just watching me. He's like, oh, that's
yeah.
cool. As long as you keep going your way.
Yeah, because he knows he's got the best spot. He's not giving up for anyone.
I hope he's a friendly ram. It'd be quite funny if the locals or the people who own the island are like, yeah, we'll put him in the back paddock. Anyone who comes traipsing through, he'll sort him out.
Don't have a ram to deal with, thankfully. But I think we might have a cow up at this lighthouse, which is where we're actually heading. It's good to go up to the lighthouse. Okay, that's a tad creepy.
The guardians of the lighthouse.
How did they get up here so fast?
Different rams, aren't they?
A black and white ram at the same time.
That's how they pair off then.
Adam thinks that those two peaks over there is probably where we were yesterday, because they were pretty much the highest thing around.
Today's plan, unfortunately, is to go into a marina. Not our favourite thing. No one likes to do it. No one likes to be in a marina. Well, some people do.
Can I interject and say it's actually a harbour, it's not a marina?
A harbour. You're right. You're right, actually. It's a harbour. to Stikisholma Harbour. We were there at anchor a little while ago, but there's some nasty weather coming through on Wednesday, day after tomorrow. And around here the holding is not great, and generally it's belting out of the north, and we want to go north, so there's just a better idea to be tucked up in harbour safe and sound than to be rolling the dice. And the wind, the locals tell me the wind can accelerate through this harbour quite a bit. So if it's forecast to be 20 something gusting to 30, could be a whole lot higher than that. So we're just going to take the hit, go into the marina.
Harbour.
Go into the harbour. I'm going to give the harbour master a call when we get back to the boat and see if he's got room for us. Basically, today's job is to put the boat to bed and get her safely tied to a dock so we don't have to grapple with the gale that's coming.
Drone should be all good now too, which was actually the point of this whole walk.
We'll see. I have zero faith in it.
Gimbal's going all wobbly. It's not a happy bunny, and I believe that this far north there is a lot of magnetic interference, or you can't trust the
Compass.
compass. Listen to me trying to talk about magnets. Psh. What's up with all these birds? They're hiding.
They are all in a big cluster here. They were all in a big cluster here before I gestured towards them and they ran away.
I can definitely say after this anchorage we have ticked the puffin box. We have definitely seen some puffins in Iceland, up close and personal too. Hey?
We're doing pretty well, really.
With puffins?
Lava.
Yeah, lava.
Whales.
Yeah. Although no whales in Iceland.
Kind of on the way.
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe up in the west fjords,
We need a
up further
glacier.
north. Yeah, we need a proper glacier. We had like a dirty glacier that everyone was kind of driving to. We need like a proper
Dragon
one.
Skull. Something like that. Sounds like Dragon Skull, but it's not.
That one.
That one, up in the West Fjords. That'll get our fix there.
Yeah, definitely.
For boots that's supposed to move around on a storm-tossed deck, this has zero traction. Zero. Just got off the phone from Stikisholma Harbour Master. He didn't turn us away at all. He was like, yeah, you can come in. How big are you? 12 meters. There's another sailboat here, but they're going to leave today, so maybe come. And if it was lots of ifs, buts and maybes. It's not really the kind of certainty I'm looking for at the moment. We basically decided that because of the tides and the weather, it's constantly northeasterlies around here in Iceland this time of year. We want to go northeast to get up to the West Fjords. It's really not a great direction to be doing this circuit, if I'm honest. But that's the card we've been dealt. That's the card we chose for ourselves. So what we're going to do, there's a calm for the next 36 hours. So we're going to use that calm to get around into the fjords. And once you're in the fjords, you can sort of tack out going west and then back into the fjord and out and back and out and back. But the distances are much more appropriate, and you're running in and out of safe harbour, or in and out of fjords, so it's sort of safe harbour. The quicker we get up there, the easier our life becomes, and we'll be in a very deep fjord, hopefully dug in with a few options for harbours by the time the proverbial hits the fan. So the plan today is to just hoof it up to the West Fjords, or the first fjord in the West Fjords, called Tolkienfjorda. It's about a 50-mile journey from here to the tip of the West Fjords, and then another 20 around the way. So it's quite a drive. So yeah, that's the plan. Calling an audible at the last minute.
It's a little bit disappointing because there are some other spots that we did want to go to here, but because we're a sailboat, when the weather says go, we have to go, pretty much. Like, it's annoying that we have to skip a few things or anchorages here, but just got to go.
It's actually the opposite at the moment. The weather says you can't go.
calm out here. The water is just glassy. You can see the reflection from the sky or the clouds. Like, it's actually quite beautiful. We saw some, they weren't whales or just really, really little dolphins, maybe. Anyway, we saw some wildlife out there, and Adam saw the fish in the water as well, like nice clear water, because it's just so calm. Spent the last half an hour or so on the deck. It's quite nice. Snack of champions, Vegemite and cheese. Although, even Adam's amount of Vegemite is like taking the piss of it. Even like it's so much.
Perfectly ready.
Well, I'm gonna make him make another one.
I'll go about the same.
Try and describe Vegemite. What does it taste like?
It's salty. Certainly not sweet. It's a tough call. How would you describe it? It tastes like what it is. It's like a salty kind of yeast extract.
It's very similar to Marmite, the English version. If I had to describe it, if it tasted like anything, I would say it's a little bit like soy sauce, but maybe a tiny bit more sour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that.
Yeah, that's really good actually, yeah.
So it's really strange. We're coming up to the peninsula where we start to turn east and make our way into one of the fjords. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sort of turning north. But yeah.
Right, we're just not there yet. I'm way ahead of myself. Anyway, it's really cool because there's like this band of, I'm going to call it fog, sea mist, anything that's kind of cloudy looking. I'm just going to call it that. And then above there you can see the mountains sticking out the top. I was wondering what it's from. Adam has a theory.
The water temperature's been going up. It's 12.6 degrees in the water now, and it's been 10.
It's been going up to 12.6.
It's balmy. It's been 10 degrees most of the time in there. And we're also, the Erminger current runs north-south or south-north, one way or the other, which is warm water current. So warm water, warm current, and a cold northeasterly coming off Greenland at the moment.
Yeah, true.
With the glacier over there. So cold air, warm water. Sounds like fog to me.
Anyway, that's pretty cool. Progress is still okay. Sea is still glassy. We did have a moment where we saw 8 knots, which was pretty cool. But that was 8 knots driving into it, which means that the actual wind speed was about 6 to 3 or 4. So, still just trucking along.
We're coming around the horn.
We're coming round the mountain and she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain and she comes. I've got that song stuck in my head now after Adam's just said, so we're coming round the mountain. We're coming round the mountain and we're currently on the most western peninsula, I believe. I'm going to correct myself because that's probably incorrect. But we're going to make a right turn here, and then we're going to start going down some of the fjords, which is pretty cool.
It's a fog fall.
So it's about 12:30 at night, and usually it would actually be a lot lighter than this, but like massive amounts of fog has set in. We still have enough visibility to see either end of the fjord on both sides. Adam thinks it's about half a mile visibility. It just makes things a little bit harder when they don't really need to be. So just pulling into the anchorage now. There's like a really, really skinny neck that leads into the anchorage that we're going into, so that will be interesting in fog. We are using radar. That's coming in handy to try and figure out where some fish farms are on the way in as well. It's all a bit of a nightmare coming in. But
it's a bit of a difference to what we're used to with the midnight sun and the clear skies. It's cold and it's foggy up here in the West Fjords. It's quite a change in 40 miles, that's for sure.
you're all good. Yep, you're fine.
As you can see, today is a lovely day and we are sort of hunkered down. Like, despite it being pretty glorious in here, it's 12, 13 knots coming into the fjord, which is fantastic. It is, according to the forecast, blowing a gale out there. It is a glorious day. It is pretty windy around here. I'm really missing not having my staysail, and I haven't been using it despite sailing to windward all this time, because these staysail winches have been binding and they were sort of seized shut. So today I'm going to try cracking them open and just having a look. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just doing a bit of an investigative work. So yeah. We'll see if this works. It's a bit experimental, but you never know. It's turning it the right way and it's just kind of jamming it. So I just need it to... Whoa! It did budge, but I don't want to jam it in there too much, so I'll reset it and just keep... It's slow progress, but I think it's kind of moved it. I got it! Yes! Ah! Now that's the way to do it.
If it was that easy to fix on passage.
Oh, I might have, yeah. That's actually, you're right, yeah. Okay, don't drop anything. Steady. No! So lucky.
You.
So lucky. I specifically said don't drop anything out of one drop. I gave you one drop. So at first glance, the drum is fine. Like, that is working beautifully. So if I could just put something there and just cap it with a nut, I'd be like, that winch is perfectly fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So what I think the problem was that the top caps for both winches were binding on the drum. In the instruction to get the top cap off the winch, they say hammer with a piece of timber and a hammer. The line stripper, the little tongue. And obviously over the many, many years, it has fractured and broken. So in Trinidad, we had the man sort of do his best to weld them back on. And subsequently we screwed them on, all was well. We were like, okay, it's worked. But we really hadn't put the winches through their paces until we got offshore and started really using the staysail in anger, which is when we discovered that once you really put some tension on the winch, the binding happens and it sort of bites down. As the drum turns, this binds with it and starts to turn and turn and turn until it screws itself down so tight that it just seizes completely. After much investigation, we discovered a few things that are the culprit for the various problems on these winches. Most of which were self-induced. So the first problem was that at some stage or another, the winch was serviced, probably after the aforementioned repair in Trinidad. When it was put back together, this, I think it's nylon spacer, was switched around with this. Could also be nylon, but it has more of a rubbery feel to it. They were switched, right? And this is probably twice as thick as that one. So we switched those around and it just looked right. It didn't screw down as far, it was a nice flush on top and it wasn't binding. Second problem was the starboard winch was really tight. Like, having made that switch and had an incremental improvement, it was still like, it wasn't spinning freely. Like, you'd pull it free with the rope, 3 wraps and give it a heave and it would just kind of slide around the drum, which is rubbish. Like, the only thing that wasn't perfect was that on that winch, the sealant that had oozed out from the base of the winch was not cut away. But then on closer inspection, I realized that the bottom of the drum was like grinding away on the silicon or the caulking or whatever, the Sikaflex sealant that we had used, and like bashing in a channel. And as you ratcheted it down, that would just press and press and press. So it had like a clutch on it. It was basically had the brakes on. So I just cut all of that away. Now it's perfect. Like, well, not perfect. It's still an old winch, but it runs absolutely fine. We should have the winches back. So next time we go out, we'll give them a test, and fingers crossed we have our staysail back in action.